by Zethno there. How you doing there, bud?
I'm doing okay. I'm looking forward to this race. These are two teams that have already clinched playoff spots. Two of the only 4 teams in the Open League to have done so already. So I think this is going to be a really good game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, and we're representing both teams here. We've got on one side, you've got We Need a Mentor there with 30 points on the season there with VortexofDoom and shkoople. On the other side, 16-bit nerds also with 30 points with Floyd44 and Flipheal here. And we are off there. We've got the bottom runners both going with looks like more of an uncle start here, and the top runners going directly from Sank there. Sank just having a key to the rest of the dungeon here, and we are going.
So it'll be interesting to see the divergences between what the teams do, or if there are any, I guess, divergences between how the teams run this and share the information. For viewers that are not aware, the teams are allowed to talk with their partners, so they will be sharing information on what they see and where they go, which should help their teammates avoid locations that are not necessary.
Yeah,
Looking
this
at
is
this, just saying there's not much near Uncle.
No, it looks like Uncle is completely dead here, and so they'll be relaying that back and forth to each other here. Now, the Enemizer does just add a whole lot of stuff into it. As you can see, all of the enemies there are in completely different locations there, so this can get really weird really quickly there, depending on what we find. And as it looks like, Vortex is the first one there to find, or the second person there to find a Bombos medallions there sitting in the Lost Woods, and it looks like he's about to drop down and get the flute that or something.
Floyd is bringing the fish over to the bottle vendor. If you bring a fish to the bottle vendor, he will pay you. It is if you bring him a fish or a good bee. Now, in non-Enemizer, it is a long way to bring a fish all the way over to the bottle vendor, but in Enemizer, you can get one right there like Floyd had. We're going to get a lot of checks down here in Blind's Hut. Hopefully there's something good for our runners that point them in a specific direction. They found a Moon Pearl.
Moon Pearl is always a good thing there. That's one of the 3 items that you're going to need to get yourself into the Dark World here. It looks like the back of Sasharalas there is going to be Flippers there over on shkoople's side. He's just going to save and quit out of there, not going to go directly into Eastern Palace quite yet. As Vortex sells his fish.
Yeah. And a shovel for Flip's side. Don't think he'll check that immediately, but maybe he will, because he does have a partner doing other checks, and if he heads over that way, it'll be worth checking.
Yeah,
it is Yeah.
He is going back that way there. It is kind of one of those things when you're doing a southern route like that. Finding shovel's probably one of the worst things to find there, because you're just like, I just came this direction.
But not a bad thing to find. Floyd finds a sword in the well.
Yeah, that's a big early find there. That's going to be having basically the sword plus that Bombos medallion. That's going to make any sort of difficult room much easier. And it looks like that's a hook shot underneath the water there in the dam. So that's going to be a nice find here for over on the We Need a Mentor side.
I think I saw a lamp on Floyd's side, but I'm not sure. From the bottle vendor.
The items are coming fast and furious right now with the 4 runners going here. It is kind of hard to keep track there. Big shout outs to our trackers today there, Valetti and Akir on the other side, as looks like Vortex picks up his sword out of the back of the thing, and a mushroom and blue mail.
Blue mail, well, that's some extra health right there. Always nice to help, especially in an Enemizer, because you never know. Has either of our runners gone into Chicken Hut yet? That's always my favorite room in an Enemizer.
Oh yeah. No, we've been into Chicken Hut, and there are guards in there waiting for them, as Vortex is about to demonstrate for all of us.
That's a relatively friendly room for Enemizer, all things considered. Could have been a lot worse enemies in there.
Oh, definitely, definitely. As it looks like we're going to go down here for Floyd. He'll be getting his hook shot in just a minute. Shkoople on the other side, he's making his way into Kakariko. Hasn't been here yet, so he's going to pick up everything that Vortex tells him to in just a moment.
Just when you look at all of our runners' items right now, we're 5 minutes in. We've got sword, bombos, lamp, moon pearl, hook shot, flippers, shovel. Now these are on different players, but that's a lot of items already for 5 minutes in.
Poor Flipheal right now, having 98 rupees and looking for looking for 2 more rupees there so he can go buy his lamp. So he's just gonna come run back down here into the bottom and gonna basically raid blindside. He'll be able to get the rupees he needs down here. He needs that moon pearl anyway, so he'll do that first, gets 20 rupees, and then everything's good for him.
Library Ledge had a single green rupee, so looks like no one will be returning back over there.
All right, and we're going to get our first look at Mini Moldorm Cave up there on Floyd's side there. That is a very gentle Mini Moldorm Cave here. Just a bunch of popos in here. Going to be able to refill his bombs while he's in here. That's about as easy of a one as you could possibly get.
Fire Rod.
Okay, and another bottle with a fairy in it this time, and Master Sword. Okay.
I have a feeling Flipheal will be heading over there in not too long.
Yeah, that's an interesting save and quit there, choosing not to go all the way out to Ice Rod Cave. Instead, we're going to make our way over into probably the Eastern Palace area now.
Another example of the runner sharing information. Floyd has not checked that chest in Link's house and won't because Flip has already told him that it's not worth anything. I believe it was a piece of heart. But...
Oh, if it was a piece of heart, I'd picking it up here for Animizer.
I am too. I think it was a piece of heart. Now, it's only been 7 minutes, but there have been a lot of item checks, so it is very easy to mistake one for another.
Oh, definitely.
Shkoople actually picking up his first sword, it looks like.
Yeah, Shkoople didn't make his way to Mini Moldorm Cave. I think he went to the dam and then out into Agina's, but I didn't see anything there. It looks like Vortex is going to give us a mushroom check as Floyd looks to be heading into Eastern Palace right now.
You got Flipheal also doing the mushroom check in the bottom right.
Yeah, it looks like Flipheal will tell us that information first here.
He's going for the bush grab. He's having issues getting it. Ooh, money.
I see why.
Definitely worth getting some extra money early. They need quite a bit still to do Zora, digging game, get into pod. So, definitely worth... Oh, he's just going to farm it. And I missed what Vortex got from the mushroom.
Well, it was 3 bombs, but interestingly enough, Vortex just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just reset my game here. So he save-scummed his mushrooms. So if there's a fake powder opportunity later, Vortex is gonna have that option available to him. Now, Flipheal on the other side just picks up the 3 bombs, and he is gone as Floyd looks like that was just 20 rupees out of the first chest of Eastern Palace there.
So Floyd's the runner that's now going to be giving us a little bit of information for the next little bit, as the other 3 are just traversing parts of the map that we've already seen. Shkoople looking to do an ice rod cave.
And we're seeing, man, there's a lot of chickens and quite a few guards over here as well.
Floyd got deadrocked in Eastern Palace. It doesn't matter where those deadrocks are, they will get in your way.
That pretty much is their purpose in life, just to be as annoying as humanly possible there. Down to a single heart there. I won't see, maybe he'll take a second and pick up at least one of the extra hearts here, hiding underneath these pots there. So he's now up to 2. For what that matters.
10 arrows in Ice Rock Cave, so it looks like Vortex will not head over there after. He's actually currently in Mini Moldorm, so if it had been something important, he probably would have headed right over, but no point now.
we're gonna get the. It looks like we're gonna grab the flipper checks here on both sides. We've got Flipheal. Looks like he's gonna probably lead the way here first. He's heading up to the hobo real quick as Floyd's still picking up items here out of Eastern. Haven't seen anything noteworthy yet. That was a piece of heart in the big chest.
The nice thing for Flipheal is he's doing the flippers checks with more than 500 rupees, so he can go over immediately, check Zora, and get the boots is a great item. But he can also check Zora while he's up in that area, whereas shkoople will not be able to check Zora at only 56 rupees.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things you almost hope that for We Need a Mentor's sake that Zora doesn't have anything. But I guess we're going to find out here in just a minute.
As Floyd gets through the dark room, not a dark room this time, which is nice because they all started with a lamp very early. Since it is not a key randomizer this week, all the big keys will be in their dungeons along with the small keys, so Floyd will be able to check everything but the boss while he's here.
Now, the most interesting part of the Eastern room is this dark room back here. How bad is it? I mean, pretty bad.
Oh.
That's pretty bad. That's going to be a quick couple of hits, and then down he goes. This is at this point. This is when you remind that you have the Bombos medallion. Take it out and nuke everything.
Yeah, definitely. It is an enemizer delete button. It is very nice as long as you have the magic to do so. And I've also realized that he does not need the bow. He will be able to complete the entire dungeon because enemizer will not be putting bow-required enemies in what is normally the bow-required room. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the logic still requires the bow for them to have to go there, or was that changed?
I believe you're right on that. Like, you're still technically required to have the bow because logic doesn't change between modes. What's good for one, it has to be good for all. But interesting thing for Floyd is this is gonna be a bit of a fight. Blind is not a terrible thing to find in here, but he's probably wishing right now he still had that fairy, because this is gonna get a bit hairy here.
Yeah, and he does not have the cape or the cane of Burna, so he has no invulnerability. He does have another bottle. I don't know what was in it. I think
Nothing.
He's trying to find out.
This is called the pause buffer strat. Trying to get a shot in there, didn't quite get it, and now here comes fun.
Now we're all watching.
Ooh, almost had it there.
We were all watching that fight, but shkoople picked something up in the basement of the back of Escape, and it looked like it was something good in the middle chest, but I totally missed what it was.
Well, I saw a glove being picked up on Flipheal's side on Waterfall Ledge there in the middle of that fight. But, yeah, no idea what shkoople got there, unfortunately. And Tracker's saying right now, not anything of note, so we're gonna take their word for it in the back. But either way here, so Floyd just deciding, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm gonna go get my boots. I'm gonna go get that glove, and then probably gonna end up following what shkoople's doing right now. He's heading his way up the mountain, and with that hookshot in hand, he can pretty much get all of Paradox Cave, and if you end up finding mitts up here, then you're going to be pretty happy.
Oh, definitely. Being able to clear all of Dark Death Mountain while also clearing Light Death Mountain will save him a lot of time. There are a lot of chests up here that those gloves could be in, but there are also a lot more that it could be elsewhere.
Everybody's favorite. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to say, it looks like the Zora item didn't do anything for Floyd while he was up there. So if you're cheering for We Need a Mentor, that is positive for you.
And Shkoople's dealing with the great fun of a 4-heart Death Mountain climb here. Took himself down to 2 hearts there, but should be able to get over to the much less dangerous right side of Death Mountain here. I say much less dangerous, but we're playing Enemizer, and that little Deku Baba, or whatever the heck that plant thing there is, that thing would still have killed him.
We got an ice rod on Vortex side in the escape.
Ooh.
I was just going to say on Shkoople side, that was relatively vanilla. We still had some of those jumping enemies, which I don't know the name of, and a few dead rocks on that side. That's pretty much what's supposed to be there. And he finds it tempered.
Yeah, tempered sword. So that's very interesting on Vortex's side, because that means that he has all of the weaponry that he needs to kill every boss in the game. And it's 15 minutes into the game. Well, okay. Still mostly true there. Like, we're gonna need a hammer at some point, but it's but that's more to complete the thing right there.
Correct. It's not technically required for any boss. It's a preferred method for most runners to defeat Helmasaur, but you can choose just to throw bombs at him.
That is one of the things you can do for sure.
I was just going to say, in some dungeons, it's actually easier to throw bombs at him than it is to use the hammer. Because we will have a boss randomizer, not that... Or we got to a boss, and Armos was actually in Eastern, wasn't it? Weren't they?
No, that was Blind in
Oh,
Eastern,
right, Blind. Wait. Yes, we had Blind. Ooh! A nice trap on Vortex's side in the dark room. He's probably very happy to have that lamp right now with the spike and the big spike trap. Now, Vortex took an intentional death to warp out.
And Shkoople got nailed in Spiral Cave here, because that's a fun little spiral cave there with the shadow sneaks there and anti-fairies. So you're going to come out of that and... Ooh, don't save and quit! Oh, no. That was a poor save and quit there on Shkoople's side. Those myths just opened up the entire Dark Death Mountain side. I think he just realized that, and he's probably headed right back there right now.
Autopilot can kind of get you there. You're so used to finishing those light world checks. I know I don't have mitts, so as soon as I get whatever item this is, I'll save and quit. And then you get the mitts as your last item.
And, well, it looks like instead we're on to plan B over here on Shkoople's side. We're going to go and open up King's Tomb.
It looks like Vortex is headed up the mountain, so knowing what's over there, he may check the dark checks anyways, since he's coming up. So it is a little bit of just sharing information between the runners anyways.
Yeah, maybe go do Spiral Cave first. They're actually looking at it. They don't have the mirror yet, so they were not able to. They're not able to complete that. I'm kind of hoping that we get ourselves a little bit of information on what our Dark World dungeons are. We're probably going to get that in just a moment here, as Flipheal goes ahead and picks up his ice rod there out of the boomerang chest and escape.
Oh, there's our check. Our 5/6s are Thieves Town and Pod.
I want to say I saw a pendant on Meyer, and it looks like a pendant on TR as well. Oh boy. So 2 of the longest dungeons there are not going to be needed to for completion today.
It also means Cane of Samaria is no longer a required item.
So that's fun.
That could help. It depends on where that cane is, but they're not going to be looking for that today.
Yeah, this is when we always put the disclaimer by the not a required item thing, where we say not a required item except for possibly in GT.
Ah, yes, I forgot about that one little part of GT. It is required for right side GT if it is required. That will only be required if something important is encompassed. It would have to be the GT Big Key.
Now, kind of unfortunate thing here for Flipheal. He's heading into Agate Tower. His partner hasn't quite gotten to the mitts yet, so Flipheal's probably going to get about 2 rooms in here as Floyd is making his way through this not particularly amazing this not particularly amazing setup. He's about to pick up the mitts, and then I imagine we're going to see Flipheal just immediately save and quit out. As Floyd also doesn't check the mountain.
I wonder if there's a reason. We'll have to ask about that.
Well, Vortex on the other side for We Need a Mentor there. He is making his way down to go ahead and check this check the dark side here.
Yeah, I definitely do want to ask the runners why neither team checked it on the first time up, because it's interesting that both made that. Now I'm starting to think it's a choice of something I'm just not seeing.
It very well could be, but I mean, to be honest, it's not like they have that much left available to them here. It's just, oh, that's an ugly place for a spike trap.
Thanks, game.
Oh boy, cold stare in here, and shkoople is gonna go for the. Okay, he's gonna try to do. Okay, maybe he got it. Nope, not quite. Oh, that's a shame.
That's a mean place to find a cold stare.
Yeah, now, there's an argument to be made when you're doing Enemizer that you always make sure you have a magic in one of your bottles here. Just because of things like that. Now, the other thing, pointing out in chat there, he has bombos.
Yeah, that only uses half his bar instead of the whole bar. That definitely would have been a better decision.
Okay, Vortex, you have a slight issue now. He's gonna have to lure that beetle up or down here to try to knock him out of the way there. Success!
He was switching to a bomb. He was thinking of just bombing it off the ledge.
Get a heart container for that. And now that's one of the things with co-op. It's a lot of times you can kind of just not think about picking up hearts and such like that. Especially with this being Enemizer, you don't necessarily want to go into every fight with only 5 hearts. That's gonna work poorly for you. Yeah,
some of these rooms with 5 hearts can be kind of rough. Well, Floyd's in doing our Thieves Town checks. Found nothing in the first chest.
And shkoople checked the brewery there, got himself a book as well. Looks like we've got Vortex also converging on the Village of Outcasts area as well there. So we're going to have both runners there on that side. Flipheal is still up in the East Dark Death Mountain right now.
It is interesting. We got a Turtle Rock check, and it is Bombos. So while it is a pendant, they can get in. Now they can't do anything because they don't have Canis Maria yet. But there could be something in there for them.
Oh, man. Good old Thieves Town Enemizer here. It's not going to be laggy and terrible at all, as we see just Beamos and Dead Rocks and all sorts of fun things.
On Vortex's side, we're about to be getting a check for the back of Skull Woods. It'll be interesting to see what boss is sitting in here. Oh no, we know that's Cold Stare.
And we've got a Landmo sitting here in Thieves Town right now, so this is a much more doable fight than the other ones here. This is when you point out, hey, by the way, bud, you've got Fire Rod. It doesn't matter, took him down. No problem there. Picks up 10 arrows. Unfortunately, I was not counting the items that he got in Thieves Town.
I wasn't, because I was looking down at shkoople's side, who actually picked up Ether in Thieves Town.
Okay, Tracker saying Floyd got 1, so that's going to be 2 items out of Thieves Town right now. So there's 2 items still remaining, and we're just gonna kind of leave them there right now.
It's an interesting choice. Maybe leaving it for his teammates go get it later. But I wonder where he will go next.
Yeah, shout outs to one of the async Animizer practice seeds that had 3 items easily in Thieves Town up front and in the back, up front and on the boss there, and then through the ice rod in the back of Thieves Town. That was nice. As Vortex does remember that he's got his bombos there, so he's able to go ahead and break Cold Stare's shell up. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is not a terrible place to find Cold Stare, because he actually does take damage off of spikes. As you can see, that puff went down very quickly.
The other thing that's really good is that the spikes aren't actually moving themselves, so they're not likely to hurt you, as opposed to pretty much almost every other boss in the game.
And that is a good fight over there on Vortex's side, and he picks up his, well, we're going to call that his first crystal of the day there. So nice, good fight for Vortex.
We found Quake somewhere on Vortex's side. And Flip has it as well.
Imagine up on the mountain. I don't. At some point, I stopped paying attention once we found. Once it was kind of like, well, we don't necessarily need the medallions today. Possibly, hopefully.
Thank you to one of our trackers telling us that it was in Hookshot Cave.
And Hype Cave over on Floyd's side. That's a pretty bog standard Hype Cave. It looked like.
Flip got caught by the Wallmaster. Gonna have to redo this room, which happens to still have a Gibdo. That room looked almost the same as it did in Vanilla. The Wallmaster still being here makes the room just as difficult as always. Floyd.
He's gonna go over and check the pyramid and catfish. It looks like maybe go into pod. This is that nasty time where you don't have a hammer yet, and you've got to try to find it. It looks like we're gonna go to pod first over here on his side.
It's kind of funny. The seed has given us 3 really nice location medallions and put both Meyer and Total Rock as pendants. Now, Vortex taking a death, I'm not sure if it looks like it was probably intentional.
Hard to say exactly. And yeah, our tracker pointing out one big thing here that might be a bit of an issue here soon. Flipheal did not pick up Tempered when he was on the mountain.
That'll definitely slow him down. In seeds where these both teams have very good runners, that could make a difference, those few minutes. Now, a little bit for the scoring of this race. Oh no, I thought he made it. It looked like Flip got Wallmastered. He also remembers combos. But the teams will be averaging both racers' score for their final race time. So it is important for both to keep up with each other.
Flipheal's into his Cold Stare fight there. Takes him down there, using the spikes to his advantage there. All 3 puffs went down fairly easily and picks up his first crystal of the day, as well as his partner is right now working his way through the Palace of Darkness right now, finding the Cane of Samaria. So that is well, I mean, that actually opens up quite a few less than great possibilities, we'll say that much.
Oh yeah, I think he would have been happier not seeing that. Now Turtle Rock is open. They can now get into Turtle Rock with a fire rod. They can check that. I think that basically allows them to get through all of Turtle Rock if they'd like.
Yeah, no, they can full clear every single chest in the game in Turtle Rock at this point. That's so yeah.
so they didn't want to go in there.
Well, and one thing we will say, our tracker is pointing out that you do need a hammer to get in there, so
yes,
it's not an issue yet. As shkoople finishes off his smith chain, just gets a heart, a full heart container there. Now both he's starting to look a little bit healthier there. Floyd's starting to look a little bit healthier. Vortex on the other side still having 5 hearts. Might want to pick up a heart container at some point.
Vortex like he's did find the flute.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did just find the flute. It was in Skull Woods. It was in one of the drop downs. It looks like the other teams, everyone's gone through Skull Woods, but it looks like they hadn't checked that yet. Flip is probably on his way to that chest in a moment, because he is in that part of the dungeon.
Yeah, he's got plenty of keys, so yep, that'll probably be a pretty good guess of where he ends up here in just a second. So at this point, what are we looking for? We're looking for a mirror and a bow, I believe. Is that it?
The hammer. Hammer is
Hammer.
required for Swamp. Now, I'm sure they would love 2 bows, but they can all deal with 1. Actually, they technically don't need a bow, because all of the Enemizer has taken out all the bow rooms, except the one in the back of Pod. They will need one to finish Pod.
Yep. Yeah.
That statue will not be replaced.
You caught me before I mentioned it.
Yeah. I got there before I finished my sentence.
All right, Flip goes ahead and he picks up his flute, as Floyd's almost looks like he's basically done with most of what am I saying here? A pod, or maybe he hammer yumped across here. Yeah, he's going to take a quick death ward back to the front here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a discussion in chat about whether Ped could have something useful for us. I think the mirror is about the only thing that they'd go out of their way to get.
Never mind, found it.
As shkoople finds it.
Found it.
I think that does mean that Ped is dead for a required item. Because it can't be hammer, because they'll need that to get into Turtle Rock.
And with the standard requirements there, bow is going to be bow unfortunately can't be there, because technically the game still thinks you need a bow to defeat Eastern.
Yeah, so the bow can't be there. So yeah, it looks like Ped officially is dead now.
So yeah, we're on with the rest of this here. Now Vortex making the decision here to come to the back of Skull Woods here. Now his teammate didn't do this earlier. Just went ahead and cleared the landmo in the boss room. But there were 2 items back here, so if he is able to find a bow, that's going to put his team in a excellent position.
Yeah, while shkoople is heading to the back of Desert, I don't think we've seen this boss yet.
Oh, this is going to be a new one here, but I mean, unless this is Trinex here, he should be able to take care of it without any problem. Oh, hi, Trinex.
You had to say it.
I mean, it's his own fault for not picking up that ice rod.
Yeah, well, I mean, they know where it is. His teammate does have it, but we're giving his team blessings and curses. We mentioned the mirror. His teammate got it immediately. We mentioned Trinex, and he got it immediately. So,
you know, that would be the way that it is at times. All right, so Vortex doesn't look like he found anything in the back of Thieves Town here, but we're gonna take out Landmo real fast, and he'll get his second crystal of the day. Looks like shkoople is heading back into hitting back into Skull Woods for his round 2 with the cold stare in the area. Flipheal activating his flute, and Floyd has got a black screen at the moment.
We did just get 12 new viewers coming in to watch, so welcome. This is a week 7 co-op information share Enemizer defeat Ganon game. We are basically just looking for the hammer and a bow as our go mode items now. Now, most of the runners need multiple other items, however, they either know or we know where they are.
And we've got Flipheal into the Misery Mire area there. He went into Mire Shed, picks up his whole lot of nothing out of Hookshot Mire Shed there, and turns out that to get into Misery Mire today, it was Quake. So that Quake that I kind of ignored out of Hookshot Cave earlier today might have actually turned into something, because if the hammer is sitting here in Misery Mire, that's going to be a very nice thing for Team 16-bit nerds.
Oh, for sure. Floyd's going to have to go back up and get that Quake if he does need to go in there. That's unfortunate, because Flip is the one that really wants a reason to go back up the mountain to get his Tempered Sword, as he's the only one of our 4 runners to not have it.
And to be honest, I think that's one of those things where he's planning on picking that up later in the later when he rushes up there to go beat Ganon's Tower. But I don't know, we'll have to see exactly how all of that works out for him.
I think I agree. I'm not sure he's going to go out of his way, because that's going to be a huge time sink for no new information for his team. So I don't think he's going to go up there until it can be logically routed in with some other check or something else that he wants to check up there.
Floyd. I just realized here in a second there, Floyd's about to get the same bad information that I want to say shkoople did, because Floyd has not. Oh, there is a bow there in Misery Mire, so that actually puts Flipheal not quite into go mode. We're in hammer. We are hammer from go mode now.
Yep, between him and his partner, they do have every other item required to finish this game. So, this game is a search for the hammer. Now, we got a lot of people in chat right now and viewers. If you want to take a guess where you think it might be, please go ahead and chat.
Now, to kind of finish what I was saying there a second ago, Floyd is about to realize that, that one thing that you didn't pick up out of Escape there, you probably should have picked that up, because you're not going to be able to beat this Trinex without it.
Yeah. That's just such disappointing news, especially when you say, oh no, it's a Trinex, and your teammate tells you exactly where it is and reminds you of where it is, because they already have it. Both teams, the runner without Ice Rod being the one to find Trinex. Has Pyramid been checked was a question. I'm not sure. Did you see a runner check Pyramid?
Oh, well, Floyd went up to Pyramid there, but he was kind of lagging real bad there for a second, so unfortunately didn't actually see what it is, but he doesn't have hammer, so
yeah, so it's not there.
Now, we did not get to see what was in Checkerboard Cave over here on Vortex's side, because Flipheal came in here earlier without the mirror. Looks like that's just 20 rupees, though, so that's one place that the hammer is not.
Shkoople back up on Death Mountain.
And we have not been to Tower of Hera yet. That would be a place for it. Could also just be sitting here up on the Ether tablet.
Yeah, I mean, they do have all of the items required to finish Tower of Hera. So it's not going to be a huge waste of time to come up here. However, I'm sure if some of the runners can just combine that with their GT climb, it would be really nice to finish Hera, go back in the portal, and just go straight into GT. I assume unless something important comes up on shkoople's side, that's likely what Vortex will do.
Now, I just noticed something. Vortex was in the Misery Mire area, chose not to go into Misery Mire. So his team does not know that there is a bow just sitting there in the spike chest there for him. So they're still 2 items away from go mode, unfortunately.
That's all going to depend on where that second bow is. While shkoople does the Hera pot glitch, this will bring him almost right up to the top of the tower. Gets it first try. Nicely avoids the soft lock. If you move in the wrong direction right as you finish that glitch, you will get stuck and have to save and quit.
And continuing on in Tower of Hera on shkoople's side there, not anything yet.
No, but Flip is back up on Death Mountain, so he will likely be getting his Tempered Sword, and I figure he will also be doing the Hera check for his time. It's been interesting to me how often sometimes the top runners and the bottom runners have been checking the same locations.
Yeah, at some point, there's just not that many things you can do here. Vortex is also going to give us a little bit more new information, as there's a Moldorm in Tower of Hera, so the game being kind of boring here. A little 3-eyed Moldorm, at least, a little different, but...
Just a little bit. Added 1 extra eye. I'm not sure that's random enough for most of our players. Cave 45 has not been checked. It is something that opened up with a mirror.
Or this catfish check that Vortex is doing right now. We're going in here. He's going to throw us a bottle. You'll take that.
Oh, bottle never hurts. I think it had a bee in it, though, so it's not going to be particularly helpful, but he will, Vortex will likely throw it in the pool here, hoping to find a better potion. Red. Health is always nice. Yep, so Moldorm can have anywhere between 1 and 8 eyes. It is random, but it will be the same for all of the Moldorms this game, so they will all have 3 eyes, if there is more than 1. There is a potential for up to 3 bosses to show up twice, so just because we've seen 1 boss does not mean we won't see it again.
So going through the bosses we've seen so far, we've seen a Blind, we've seen a Trinex, a Moldorm, and a Cold Stare, and Landmo right now. So that's what we've seen so far. So we've still got basically everything open. We haven't had any repeats yet, so still time for... Oh, there it is. The hammer is in the basement of the Tower of Hera today.
Both teams will get that information shortly, with Flip and shkoople both in the same dungeon.
Well, Flipheal does have a possibility of skipping that. It would be a terrible skip, but there is a possibility that he could skip that.
You're right, he might. I don't think he will. This is such an out-of-the-way check that it takes a long time, and maybe runners in single player will skip it because it takes so long, but with 2 runners, you can afford to take a little bit of that extra time on one runner's side just to make sure you don't leave something there.
Shouldn't skip it. I mean, he shouldn't, obviously, but,
yes.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't skipped. Oh, no. Go. Oh,
Flip.
he's...
Don't do it.
Okay.
He's going back in.
I think that was an argument with his teammate going, no, you go back in there, darn it.
It very well could.
Well, this is going to put 16-bit nerds into go mode here in just a second. Unfortunately, looks like we're going to try to get a resync here over on Flipheal's side, and just like that, magically, he has the hammer.
No, he does. So somewhere around 43 minutes, the 16-bit nerds are, as a team, in go mode.
All right, so that is going to be this. Flipheal's going to run over real fast. He's going to say, you know what, let me get this Tempered Sword really quick, except it's in the basement. So,
Trying to remember what was up here, if there was anything important. I didn't think so. Maybe it's just some health. I mean, he only had 6 hearts? I'd take extra health.
Yeah, health is not a bad thing right now.
We're getting another Moldorm fight on Vortex's side, but Vortex gets pushed right off the edge. You're going to have to go up and do that again. There is a reason he is nicknamed Trolldorm. Shkoople doing our first swamp checks, I believe. While Flip picks up his tempered, that puts all of our runners on tempered. There is one more sword somewhere in the world, but the difference between tempered and butter is much smaller than master sword and tempered, so the runners aren't as concerned with finding it.
Interesting little fun fact here from Drossi there in chat, talking about these two teams and their upcoming matches between their other. This is the first of between 5 and 7 games that these two teams will play against each other over the next 3 weeks, as both of these two teams have clinched and they are just playing for positioning right now.
Another thing that's interesting about how things have been going in our runners, Flipheal is actually undefeated individually so far in this tournament. He is 6-0 in his games. So this, in addition to them claiming that first spot, this is him keeping his record alive.
Well, we'll have to see here. It's still a little bit early. We could maybe go ahead and find our second bow sitting here back in the back of Swamp Palace. But right now, definitely 16-bit nerds do have the fairly decent advantage.
There is a question about how these teams work and the league works. There are 3 players on each team, and as the teams play 2 games a week, generally, only 2 of the players need to play in any particular week. However, all 3 players need to play a minimum number of games throughout the tournament. As a result, they take turns playing depending on which modes they believe they're strongest at or they would like to play the most.
As we're going to get looks like our second vanilla boss of the day, is we found an Argus sitting here in the back of Swamp Palace.
I can't believe that we haven't found a duplicate boss yet. Are they all going to be in GT?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you kind of think they have to be. We still might get to see the majesty of Trinex on ice.
That is never a fun fight for players.
No, that's not great. You don't want that.
I'd also not want to see Viddy on ice.
Well, it's at that point you're just hoping for the cape here. As looks like Vortex is going to head into Ice Palace, going to give us a little bit of new information here. So
it is a crystal, so they do need to do it. He is going in without the Cane of Samaria, so he will either need to do the bomb jump or go around the long way. Both runners on the 16-bit nerd side actually have Cane of Samaria, which will help them if they want to do that glitch. And for example, where Flip is right now, he's able to use the Cane of Samaria to push down that switch instead of using the statue, saving a little bit of time. That is an unpleasant room. Bombos on Vortex? Yes, he's using Bombos. He looked at that room and said, no, I don't think I want to kill all these enemies.
It's like, this will take time. I need to go fast. Thank you, game. All right, so we're going to open up this chest on Vortex's side. What are we going to find here? Just a blue cane, so, nice.
Definitely nice to have a little bit of invulnerability, especially in an Enemizer, although I'm sure the players would have much rather had that significantly earlier in the race.
And one of the more sneaky, difficult rooms in an Enemizer here, this Ice Palace room here with everything. It's like, yes, you can do Icebreaker if you can get there, is the problem.
Well, he can't do Icebreaker because he doesn't have Samaria.
Well, I'm just saying in general,
but,
like you can,
yes.
if you can get there, you can do Icebreaker, but it can be quite difficult to get over to that side of the room.
For sure, and for runners that like to hit this switch first, because there are two different routes when you're full clearing it with Samaria. And then they have to go through that room twice.
Which is just not a whole lot of fun here. As, yeah, this is going to be
we got a video on Flip side.
Oh, a video over there in there. Okay.
So once again, no duplicate bosses.
I think we put down a Cane of Samaria block there for style. We'll call it style.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's the same color as Vidi.
We'll call it style. We'll not mention that it was probably just a oops, sort of. Didn't mean to quite do that.
I don't know what item he would have been looking for, though. There's no item near that he could have accidentally chosen instead.
Yeah, no idea, actually.
I think that was probably just a style thing. Swag block, as said in chat.
Vortex is having some fun here in Ice Palace there. Just running into room after room with just awkward enemy placement here. Flipheal taking an extra second there to make sure that he goes ahead and uses this. Floyd having a little problem there, kind of getting his Trinex heads mixed up there. Tried to shoot a fire rod shot at the fire head. Looks like he's got him in the stun lock at this point though, so should be okay.
Yeah, he'll be our first runner to get through that dungeon, as he's the first one to make it in there with Ice Rod. Well,
he's still got 2 hearts left and the last form of Trinex here. Things can go wrong. It's getting a little hairy. And takes him down though.
Shkoople also finishing up Cold Stare at the exact same time. That
Vortex now being paced around by an anti-fairy.
That brings Shkoople up to 4 crystals. Vortex up to 3. Floyd to 3. And Flip to 3. So the only runner not at 3 is actually Shkoople, who's at 4.
Now the difference though for 16-bit nerds is that they are in go mode, so they're going to be going through these dungeons a lot faster than We Need a Mentor right now, who needs to get themselves into mire.
Flip trying to use Quake to light the torches. Accidentally
Adventures with Quick Swap.
Just went a little bit too far. They are right next to each other. Yep. We mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again for people that have joined us partway through. The times for the runners will be averaged to get each team's final time. And the lowest average time will win. As Flip should be finishing up his 4th crystal soon. Turns out Pyramid was a heart.
Interesting that
not to get it.
Not picking it up there. I mean, it's not out of your way, and I mean, you are playing Enemizer. I'd probably have taken the 3 seconds to have gone and picked that up, but
I agree, but he could just be very comfortable on 10 hearts, and if he's comfortable with that, it is 3 more seconds that you can, or 3 less seconds on your final time.
True. Very true. I mean, if you're confident in your play right now, then that's what that is there. So Flipheal, yep, he's all the way up to 4 crystals right now. He's gonna... are we sure that he hasn't beaten Thieves Town already?
I'm gonna go with no, but we got a Helmasaur in Ice Palace. We still have not seen a duplicate boss. This seed is giving us one of everything in the dungeons. The reason Floyd's not opening up TR while he's there, which was a question, is that his team is in go mode. They know where every item that they require is, so they will not be going into Turtle Rock. Our tracker A here has confirmed that Flip has not done Thieves Town yet. However, that'll be a very quick check for when he gets over there. If you're in go mode, that is a very fast dungeon.
Yep, on the other side here. So that's actually Flipheal does have 5 crystals at the moment then. So he's going to make his way pretty quickly through the back of Swamp Palace, fight his Argus, and then it'll be just a dash down to Ice Palace, and then we'll be up into GT.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a switch in the mentality, trying to remember this week versus the 2 prior weeks, last week being all dungeons and the week before being mystery, that you don't need any pendants this week unless there's an item in the dungeon or on the pedestal.
Yeah, in this case here, there was a very important item here in one of the pendant dungeons here, as Floyd picks up his bow, and that puts himself into go mode there. So 16-bit nerds on both runners there, 100% in go mode. Shkoople, unfortunately, is messing around in Palace of Darkness right now. He's not going to be able to complete this because there is no bow in here.
Vortex was near where he needed to go, but he didn't go. They did have the Meyer... We Need a Mentor did do a Meyer check, or Meyer Shed check earlier, but decided not to go into Meyer.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it looks like they're probably going to be finding that bow extremely late today.
They are keeping up in general in number of crystals so far, so as long as one of their players goes into Meyer in the next few minutes, they really won't fall behind. However, they really do need to get it soon, because go-moding some of these dungeons versus clearing them, for example, Vortex is in Swamp. If Vortex decides to clear left side, that's going to take him a lot more time than both runners on the 16-bit nerds, who are going to run straight to the back as soon as they can.
Yeah, and it looks like I don't remember exactly if Shkoople, when he was in Swamp earlier, had gone all the way to the left side or not, so he might be tempted to go over there and check it. On the other side, you had Flipheal here in Swamp, and it's basically done here. He's got one last puff to pull off on Argus, and then we're going to do we're going to go for the quick kill real fast here. And 1, 2, and a spin, and there goes Argus. That's going to be crystal number 6 over on Flipheal's side. Now, kind of underrated thing that Flipheal remembered to do there, in Enemizer, most of the boss prizes there spawn in the middle of the room, because the game can't really tell where you're going to kill the bosses, so they just throw the prize in the middle of the room there for you. So a lot of times you can be standing over where you killed the boss there and have to basically get like an additional second or two there to remember, oh yeah, right, the prize is over there, I better go pick it up.
Oh, for sure. I do believe it's 5 crystals on his side.
According to Flipheal's, well, I guess personal thing here, he has beaten Thieves Town. It's just not currently being shown on our tracker, but I believe he has beaten Thieves Town. Not 100% sure on that, but we'll have to we'll have to get a double check on that in just a minute. Maybe he'll give us a menu here and we can take a look. Oh, his tracker shows he has not finished it. Yeah, okay, then sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, I thought our tracker had mentioned that it was not completed. That's okay. There's a lot to view and look at in this game. But even then, Thieves Town, at the end in go mode, it's very quick. You find the big key, and I think they know where the big key... Yeah, they know where the big key is, because Floyd has already completed it, so he'll probably just grab the big key and go straight to the back.
Okay, then, yep. Well, then we're on 5 crystals over there, and he'll be soon to be up to 7.
Floyd is only at 3, but as his team has a lot of information, that really shouldn't take him a lot of time to finish the rest of the dungeons. While Vortex fights his Argus fight. Everybody else just going over things that they've already done. So this is a reminder to follow the runners. They've put on a great show for us here today. They'll be continuing to play for the next portion of the tournament as well. So if you're interested in watching them or supporting them, please give them a follow.
Flipheal successfully gets through Icebreaker there and is just making a beeline to the boss of Ice Palace right now. Shkoople is still, they are, unfortunately, we need a mentor, are still on a bow hunt right now, not having any luck whatsoever there. Shkoople is now into Eastern Palace there, going to check the Eastern Palace big key here, grabbing a compass there, and he's probably going to go back and fight blind, find out exactly if maybe he's got the second bow. Right now, these guys are really just not finding the place where they need to be. It's just kind of an unfortunate situation for them.
Yeah, I wonder where that second bow is. I wonder if it could be sitting in GT, which could mean it's inaccessible to them until they finish pod, which would make that bow and mire required. And if it is that, it could be a while before that team decides to check that, because it looks like they're really trying to avoid those pendant dungeons. The thing is, avoiding pendant dungeons in a lot of cases is good, because you waste a lot of time in these dungeons that you don't need to complete if there's nothing in there. But 16-bit nerds made a choice to send one player into the dungeon. He was near it, check a few chests, and they picked up a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, finding that bow was absolutely massive over on the 16-bit nerd side here. That's basically the difference in the game right now, as we are into boss fights over on this. Flipheal picking up a crystal there. Shkoople is dealing with the unfortunate blind placement here. Blind, when he's not on script here, is not an easy boss.
He is going into this fight with a lot more hearts than some of our other runners when they were in there, though.
Very true there, and having Samaria there does make it considerably easier. You can just lay down a block and let blind run into it. As we're going to get a prize here. It's just 10 arrows for Shkoople. Going to get a green pendant, though, so that's going to get them one more check. As Flipheal has finished off his, and he's on to Thieves Town to finish off his last dungeon.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for We Need a Mentor. They made a call to check a pendant dungeon. They just happened to choose the incorrect one in this particular seed. Flip will be very quickly back into Thieves Town.
Yeah, this is just going to be a straight dash to the back there. There's no use in checking anything else. I think there's a chance that, nope, I guess he hasn't even been in at all there. So I was kind of wondering if he had maybe been in to pick up the big key at least here, but I guess not. So really quick here, picks up a small key, and one of those times where you yell at your teammate, wait, you said it was chest number 1.
Floyd is still, for some of the people asking, Floyd is still going. He's just been we've been dropping a few frames from his side, but he is running and he's keeping going. So if he just freezes for a little bit, he will be back. While Flip runs directly to the back. So it's going to be more so for 16-bit nerds. It's going to be about when Floyd finishes, because it looks like Flip is going to be heading to GT very soon.
Well, that's kind of the thing. It looks like Flip here is just going to be, but that was an extremely fast fight over on Flipheal side here, and I think we're gonna just go ahead and maybe wonder if we can do this here today. Here, let me fire this up real fast, see if it works.
It should work. So we have a game that we play. There are 22 chests? 22 chests that the big key can be in Ganon's Tower. So we're going to be in there looking. Put in your guesses in chat. Any number between 1 and 22. So I'm not putting anything in. I'm not putting anything in chat, but my guess is always 4. Do you have one? Or 8. Sorry, 8, not 4.
He'll go in 8, 8, 8,
Eight.
8, and 4. Gotcha. 8 and 4.
No, four blue balls. 8 is my GT key, and I just mixed them up.
Fair enough. Let me see here. Well, why don't let's go with a nice quick one today. I'm gonna go with 4. I don't know why.
Vortex doing a spike cave check, which could be great if it was that last bow that they're looking for, but it's not.
Yep, and Floyd is making his way through into a nasty little room down here. This unfortunately that one anti-fairy there is just basically causing his entire game to break, and but no, he'll be just fine here. He's got an angry turtle. Maybe you should just kill him.
So we will be closing the game soon, so get your guesses in. You can always guess after, but it won't count for the purposes of the game and the bot. While
All right,
Floyd
last
fights
chance to
his
get
help
your
sword.
thing in there. As soon as Flipheal enters the tower there, I will be stopping the game. So you got about 5 seconds there remaining.
$19 guesses. Okay, so, and as Flip goes into Hope Room. Small key. Yep. And is it the big key? Is he good? He is not. That's 2. He's going to go full right.
Kind of makes sense. You've got, I mean, you're going to be in here first there. You've got everything that you need to basically... This one red guard is going to make this room a little bit tougher than usual, unfortunately.
The timing on this room isn't really that friendly either if you get delayed by too much. But he does
that's a rude anti-fairy placement there.
Flip doing his toss with his dash. I think he did that on the last race of his I commentated. That's 6 checks with nothing. Shkoople running through Ice Palace, Vortex up on Death Mountain, and Floyd going to pot.
Wondering if Shkoople maybe had an accidental mirror in there. It looked like ended up going back to the beginning of the dungeon. One thing you kind of really have to be careful with quick swap there. It can hurt you, and it can hurt you real bad. As
so here's track 8. Oh, we've passed my number as well. So you and I are gone 9. Small key. 10, small key. 11. So the thing is, if we find the bow in here, that's going to put Vortex and Shkoople in a really unfortunate situation.
Well, speaking of really unfortunate situations here, it looks like Vortex is gonna go ahead and open up TR.
12. Oh, they're checking a second pendant dungeon, and it's still the wrong pendant dungeon. So far, we're 12 checks in and still no big key. It's being a little evasive today.
We might get the fabled 22 in the tile room, which... I mean, to be honest, if you're racing, isn't the worst place to find it, because that means you almost guaranteed that your opponent is going to have the same thing. Hey, but we get silvers.
13 is the bow. 13 is the bow. It means that the bow that We Need a Mentor must find is in Mire. Required pendant Mire dip.
And Shkoople's got a problem. That guy's not going to go away until you basically get completely out of there, and there he goes. That's down right there.
17 checks. We're still not there.
Yeah, so at this point, we're gonna... You pretty much have to give this one to 16-bit nerds unless something absolutely catastrophic happens here, because like Flipheal is going to be able to finish this, and he'll be done well before anything else here. Now we do get to see who we possibly get to see exactly what boss is sitting here in the ice. This could get real nasty.
This is 18. It's not here.
Okay.
So there's 3 checks. There's 3 checks behind the ice boss, and then we've got tile room, and it's ice Armos.
Oh, vanilla.
I think that's the first. Did we see Armos yet?
No, this is the first Armos of the day.
We literally have not seen a boss twice yet. What a randomizer. That's 19, 20. And the answer is 20. Big key 20. A big 20. So let's see.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, that's my job. Got it.
Yep. Big 20. And in the meantime, Vortex still going through Turtle Rock. Shkoople back in his Ice Palace. Floyd running over to complete. Oh, he hasn't finished Skull Woods yet, so he'll go up to Skull Woods, run straight to the back. While Flip does his GT climb. He's got plenty of arrows, got plenty of keys. There should be no real reason for him to have any issues on the way up, barring Enemizer doing something interesting.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing we're looking at here is just how silly is this climb going to be over on Flipheal's side here. I mean, you can have gauntlets that are absolutely disgusting, some of the most difficult things you've ever attempted to do, or you can get popos in every room. That's not bad.
That's what I was thinking, but he decides to bombos it anyway. Hopefully he only has 1 bottle. I would be wary of using magic so early. It's the same room. Also bombos.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
While Shkoople is fighting his Helmasaur in Ice Palace, finishing up the dungeon, and Floyd is already almost at the Skull Woods boss in the time that Flipheal has used bombos 3 times.
It's an interesting strat here. I wonder if he's not even going to go to pick up the magic in the corner here. Kind of surprised that he took the time there to bombos everything.
See, like, this is a room I'd like to bombos. Gibdos on tracks and ice is not something I'd like to fight.
That one I could go with the bombos there for pretty easily, but getting that double spin attack there on that Gibdo there took him down. So we're gonna go into Armos Knights number 2.
Finally, a duplicate. So we do talk about how he used bombos and it took a little longer, but he got through that entire gauntlet pretty quickly. So obviously he did something that worked for him. Floyd starting his Cold Despair fight. Flipheal getting through the Cane of Samaria rooms. Not required, just makes things a lot easier.
Floyd needs to be maybe just a little... Okay, never mind. I guess that was faster than it looked like there. He got himself down to critical area there, but ends up taking him down, no problem.
Well, it's as you mentioned the first time they were in there. The spikes do damage to the Cold Stare Puffs, so every time you knock them back, they take a little more damage than you think they would. That's Flipheal's room there. It's still full of guards. They were Light World guards instead of Dark World guards, but they're still full of guards. No Fire Spinner in this room, so that makes that room actually a little easier.
Yeah, no Fire Spinner and no giant spike trap either there, so that one was considerably easier. I'd say this gauntlet has been probably significantly easier than it usually is for this series. That poor guard just said, "Nope, I'm out of here."
The guard saw Link coming, the Piranha Plant coming, probably wondering what the heck he's looking at, and said, "No, I'm not defending against this. Ganon doesn't scare me that much."
It's like, I don't get paid enough for this. Now, one thing that he's got to be a little bit careful there is a Wall Master up there, as Shkoople has now taken down his Trinex in
Desert.
in Desert here, and we've got our second cold stare up here, so we're finally seeing some repeat bosses up here as Flipheal's going into this fight. This is not a fun place to find cold stare, but gets the second double spin there, takes down the last two puffs, and that'll be that.
That wasn't too bad. As long as you have enough items, even in this area, it's not too bad. I find cold stare is the worst when you're low percent, when you have something like a fighter sword, and you're trying to figure it out, or even if you're not comfortable with a hammer. The hammer, wow, that room for Flipheal is unfortunate.
Fun.
To anyone just joining us in chat, the biggest disparity in this game was that Pendant Meyer has a bow and the other that is required to finish pod. The other bow is in GT and it is inaccessible. The problem is shkoople and Vortex have not yet checked Meyer. They've gone into both of the other pendant dungeons. They made a call and they just guessed the wrong dungeons.
It's kind of unfortunate here because, yeah, as you can see, we've got 16-bit nerds both in GT. Floyd has now joined his partner in here. He's going to have to make his way full left side here. He's going to pick up silvers on the way, pick up his big key in the back of behind Ice Armos, actually, again, as Flipheal is on his way to go and fight the big pig. And I'm kind of curious here. Vortex is just kind of standing at the outside of this, and he's waiting for his partner to go and check the pedestal. Finds out that it is just 3 bombs and flutes away to Misery Meyer finally.
Yeah, shkoople, did he check ped while he was up there? It looked like he was doing a ped check.
Yeah, shkoople checked ped there to tell Vortex whether or not he had to go and fight the boss of Turtle Rock. Oh no. Not enough magic to open up this, and oh, you know what, if he could have just well, all right, I guess at this point that would have been better. If he could have just mirrored into the desert area there. There's some magic pots just sitting inside desert if you just dash to the back there that you can pick up real fast. But at this point, it's not really going to matter. We're into phase 4 over on Flipheal's side. Almost locked Ganon down there. Gonna have to get another couple of silver arrows in there. Looks like we probably need maybe 1 or 2 more. Here goes 1 and 2, and down goes Ganon over on Flipheal's side. That's a great time. Get your GGs into chat there for 16-bit nerds there, as Flipheal is going to be the first one to cross the line here.
Yeah, he will be finishing with a race time, GG time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 41 seconds. Getting a value comment from the Triforce.
That is a quality time on a race like this.
Well, we did say right at the starting that these are 2 very strong teams, and we did expect a very good race. And really, I have to commend players on We Need a Mentor. They've also played extremely well, just as the 16-bit nerds have. The biggest difference was just routing. Vortex is now getting that Meyer check, where they've checked first Eastern, then Turtle Rock before getting to Meyer. It was a very close race right up until that point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just kind of works out this way. As soon as Vortex makes his way over to that spike chest there, he's gonna see that, oh, that would be where our match was, pretty much, because at this point you have to imagine that they're, as soon as they find that, they go, unless the other team just did not do Misery Meyer, we're sunk.
Well, they do have access to the Racetime GG chat, so they will know that Flipheal is already done as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well. So yeah, at that point you just kind of like just shrug your shoulders and go, "Yeah, not our race."
Yeah, so they know that Flip is done. They probably figure Floyd's not too far behind him, and Vortex, when he finds that bow, he's gonna know exactly why. He's gonna know they came in here. He's gonna know that they found that bow.
And there they go. He's picked up his bow there. Waiting to see a movement there over on shkoople's side there when maybe he'll be heading on down towards the Misery Mire area as well. There actually he'll need to go pick up Quake to even get in there, so he's got to go up to Hookshot Cave first.
Yeah, hopefully they have that noted. Vortex making his way to the boss of Desert, which is a Trinex. I think he was up here already, wasn't he? Or was he the one with Ice Rod? I can't remember.
I want to say Vortex had the Ice Rod, and I want to say it was shkoople who came in the first time didn't have the Ice Rod. And so yeah, I mean, as is tradition there, we had Animizer shenanigans here now. He's got to be a little careful. He's down to a single heart. I mean, he does have red mail, but there's some of these enemies just don't care.
Especially when they're crowded up like that. You can get bonked around a little bit without a real opportunity to have time to attack any or clear any out of your way.
To be honest, if I was him, I might take an extra. Well, I guess, you know, he's probably going to pop that blue potion at some point in the next fight, but I might have taken an extra second just to go ahead and refill my magic, my health a little bit here before jumping into this fight. Looks like we got Floyd back here. He's most of the way up the tower at the moment here. Ran out of magic, so he's going to have to take a quick break there into go pick up the full magic drop there out of the laser room. But 2 seconds later, he'll have this all taken care of.
Yeah, so unfortunately, shkoople's screen went black there for a second, but he's back as well. As most of the runners are just going over things everyone else has already done, I'm going to remind everyone to follow the runners. They've done a great job today. Their execution's been really on point. Flip was the first to finish, so he does keep up his... If Floyd finishes up soon, it looks like Flip will keep his undefeated streak alive.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on here. As most of the way... Oh, takes a death at the top of GT. That's an awkward place to do that. Getting
Yeah, so there have been a little bit of issues on the backside here.
Yeah,
we're gonna
I've been seeing those myself too.
What exactly is going on? It looks like Floyd ran into some issues, so we will be finding out exactly what happens there.
Yeah, so where we are right now is something happened where they lost it looks like game got deleted and all sorts of things. We lost.
Floyd's just been having some. It sounded like he might have something that came up in real life that interfered with his play. So that's what's happened there. We are kind of waiting on an update here. As soon as we know something, we will try to update everybody. But in the meantime, we're just going to watch Vortex kind of go through. Yeah, so the deletion, as you can kind of see it now, is on shkoople side. So Floyd had to did not finish. It seems like something came up in real life that he had to do or had an issue, and shkoople's file also got deleted. So it looks like on both sides, there's been some technical issues. Both teams having a player that effectively cannot finish the game.
Yeah, and it looks like from what we can tell, there's talk of a redo, possibly between these two teams. It's
There will be a discussion between the runners and the admins on how this exactly will be dealt with.
Right.
But in the meantime, we still do have Vortex Racing getting through his dungeons. But yeah. So we'll watch him take down the pod boss here. Yeah. Both teams being very cordial in chat, discussing neither once. Like, they don't want to have any issues because Floyd had to leave for something in real life. So, yeah, this has definitely been an interesting finish to a very interesting race.
Yeah, I mean, these things do happen. I mean, you got to give it to both teams there for, being basically so, I don't know. Yeah, cordial is a good word for it. Civil with each other there. Doesn't seem to be any problems here, and it's good. We're gonna unfortunately kind of come down to an admin's. Yeah, like you mentioned, it's gonna be kind of an admin's decision here. We're gonna have to wait to see exactly what comes of that there, and I don't know if we'll be able to give you any information about that when this happens.
Yeah. So I think Vortex pausing here is him now in the discussion that we're referencing. There is a delay.
Yeah, we got about a 10-minute delay here for all races. So, yes, it looks like we've probably finally caught up to the point where all of this has just kind of happened. Not really sure what's gonna go on here. I'm kind of in the race time GG room as well, trying to see exactly what's going on with everything. Vortex is gonna make his way up the GT climb here in just a minute.
Yeah, so we will watch Vortex complete it, because it sounds like he will be finishing up his seed. He will be pausing on and off throughout the rest of this run to type and do. He was been part of the discussion, but we will see him finish up. Depending on his routing, Big Key may not be in chest 20 this time.
almost kind of wonder if you just share that information at some point.
Well, mean, with both teams being willing up to a rematch, it's probably where it'll go. But it does end up being an admin decision. It depends on the rule set that has been put forward. So they are the interpreters of that. There are technically rules in place for people that are not able to finish, but that's normally due to other reasons. As both these teams are both, they're actually tied in the standings. But on a positive note, both teams are guaranteed places within the playoffs. So this winning or losing this game will not put their place in the playoffs in jeopardy.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I think that even makes this a little bit more interesting is that this game kinda means a bit like the one thing is We Need a Mentor did technically have a bit of a did have the tiebreaker on 16-bit nerds, if I remember right. So 16-bit nerds did need to win both of these races to go ahead and finish out the to take over first place. But other than that, there's not really a massive difference between finishing first and finishing second in these divisions. It really only kind of comes down to games 3, 4, and 5 of the playoffs.
I'm just reviewing the playoff for Open, and it does state that the first and second teams of each division will face off.
Right.
If they're saying that the both top teams of Tower of Hera division will be facing off, that means these two teams will be playing each other in the first 3 games, because the 3 players will be playing against each other. It does, I think, matter for if some of it they're tiebreakers. The higher seed gets to choose modes, or the lower seed get to choose some modes for the tiebreak in a different order.
It basically works like each of the players has a different basically pendant by their name. It goes by that, where the first group has to do an open 7-7 with each other. The second group ends up doing casual boots and a casual boots race, and then the game 3, or the power player there, that's when they start getting into power modes, and you start getting into choices there, and you have to choose one of the 6 items for your one of the 6 settings there, and then the other team gets a chance to choose their setting, and then you get to choose another setting on top of that, and then the final 3 are randomized. It's a bit of a mess. If you're interested in reading about exactly how it works there, the ALTTPR League webpage there does have the rules up in the top right corner there. That can kind of break it down a little bit clearer than I probably did there off the top of my head.
Vortex now on right side, pausing to continue talking. Shkoople just going through and restarting part of the game. So yeah, I'll take this opportunity to say there are a lot of games that will be coming up during the week. This is something we'll normally discuss at the end, but while Vortex is paused anyways, please do kind of keep checking in on the schedule. With him running again, I'll jump back to this. He'll light his torches. This room was very unfortunate for Flipheal, but it looks like the pathing was just a little luckier on Vortex's side. Oh, he tried to do the kick with a block as well, and he slightly didn't get it, but second time good. Vortex is going to be finding out that these chests contain absolutely nothing for him, and we'll be heading over to left side. So Vortex will be finding his second bow, learning exactly where that bow was. As soon as that happens, he will realize that that bow in Mire was that. Sorry, just kind of keeping up with the chat of the players. There hasn't been. They're just discussing exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to wait until there's a final resolution before kind of announcing that. But Vortex will be finding out that that bow in Mire was the required bow, that there wasn't anywhere else they could have found it. Although I think we need a mentor checked almost all of the other locations.
Yeah, they did pretty much everything here. There's pretty much nothing else in the game that we haven't seen at this point. Like, we didn't see Tile Room and we didn't see the top of GT, but other than that, I want to say we saw all other 216 locations here.
Vortex with some muscle memory. He dashed and bonked off that wall because that's how you normally get past those fire snakes. But this is Enemizer. There are no fire snakes.
Okay. Looks like we might have some news here. Looks like we've got a decision from the admins and a little bit of updates here. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and basically read out what it looks like the decisions are going to be here.
All you.
So what we've got here is we've got, it looks like admins kind of went ahead and decided, that it looks like the win was going to go to 16-bit nerds, but the decision here was that if 16-bit nerds so decided, they could go ahead and offer a re-race here because of just everything that happened. It would basically at that point, it looks like that's what 16-bit nerds has gone ahead and done. So it looks like we're going to have a complete redo of this race. So kind of been a mess.
The reason for that is technically the tiebreaker rules in the league is that if someone did not finish in these co-op races, they get the last runner's time plus 25 minutes. The thing is that there has been more than 25 minutes in between Flip's finishing time and when Vortex finished. Part of that, unfortunately, is because Vortex stopped to type and to find out what was going on. I think it still would have been close. He is going to be just over. He's going to be over 25 minutes after. So technically, even if you average Floyd's forfeit time, and even if shkoople finishes, Floyd will get 25 minutes longer. So technically, by the rules, they would win. But yes, 16-bit nerds are offering a rematch to make it more fair. So it's been really good. Vortex and shkoople were discussing the fact that they could just do a rematch when they thought that they were going to be winning due to the forfeit anyways. So all around, there's been some very, very good sportsmanship on both teams.
We should, get your. I guess at this point, just go ahead, get your GGs into chat or whatever.
Yeah, feel free to give GG to all of the players. Even with the technical issues, please do give the runners a follow. The runners have
with
done
everything
a very
that happened.
good job.
Yeah, with everything that happened today, I mean, this is pretty much kind of speaks to the level of people that we have in this community here. Like most people would just kind of decide they don't want that. Nobody really wants to take a win on something that is kind of beyond both sides' control here between the between everything that's happened. So again, this is what I'll always say. Like, if you have any interest in ever learning how to play this game, or any interest in racing or volunteering or anything like that, it'd be a really good idea to go ahead and join the ALTTPR randomizer Discord there. where there's all sorts of information there, really helpful people who can basically help you get set up, and you can be one of us too.
Yeah, I definitely have to say thank you to both of our trackers. The trackers have been keeping track of 4 streams where the runners are not doing the same thing at the same time at all. It is a very big task, and without their help, this would have been significantly more difficult, I think, on both my part and Days Cloud. And I also want to give a shout out to our restreamer, Will WC. He's also been in chat throughout, helping out. Without him being here to restream, we wouldn't be able to air this race.
I honestly, with that, I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna have a. I don't really know what else we're gonna do.
We might see Vortex finish. I think we may see him finish off the game. So we're just gonna watch him probably very quickly kill Armos. I think he is near the end. I think from the timing, we may see him get to the end.
I mean, if at this point, I will say right now, I will say this very loudly to the racers here, if they are still in, if they are still in and they do want to come and talk about this seed, go ahead and head your way over into the waiting room here. We can maybe pull you guys in for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, definitely welcome if the runners want to come and talk, but it's also understandable with how this ended if they want to take a minute to figure things out and how they go.
Oh, and it looks like I'm seeing Flipheal there in the waiting room there, so it seems like maybe okay. Looks like everyone is starting to pour on in here, so we've got them all in. I'll go ahead and just drag them on into here, and we'll start talking to them.
Yeah. Firstly, GG's to all the runners that are joining us. We'll just let you know that on stream, Vortex is just finishing up his GT climb.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah, that was quite a thing that transpired. I don't know if bailed out is the right word, given everything else that happened, but
yeah, both
I almost feel the same way. Like, I'm like going up to the climb. I'm finishing up. I'm like, Floyd, how you doing? How you doing? Nothing. Kill Ganon, still nothing. And then like 5 minutes later, he forfeits and leaves the channel. I'm like,
Oh man.
We had on our side just the biggest clown fiesta of a game.
Yeah, we did see that that your team checked both Eastern and Turtle Rock before going to Meyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just one of those situations where, I mean, I guess for 16-bit nerds, it was just a little bit better of a time to get into Misery Mire and just kind of take a quick look to see what was in there, and that really just flipped the whole thing. I want to say they were better part of the way into go mode by, I mean, I want to say it was hammer go mode by like 42 minutes or something, and in a seed like that, like this, that's extremely quick.
Yeah, go mode itself was the team's go mode was 58 minutes in.
Crazy. Yeah,
so Hammer unlocked so many options for us that we went everywhere except Meyer. I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
oh, you had the mirror. Okay. Yeah.
Shkoople went to desert right after. I think we did mirrorless purple chest, which I don't know. Well, yeah, because he grabbed the purple chest and just took it to desert. So.
Yeah, I did the first half because Floyd didn't do Skullwoods. He just did thieves and everything else. So when I found the flute, I was like, all right, let me take the smith and I'll just do it because I've got to activate the flute. And then like I think our options were limited. So I was like, oh wait, no, I think I did something before that. I don't remember. The seed was. Ugh.
So our Skullwoods, everything about our Skullwoods was a clown fiesta, because Shkoople went in, forgot he had bombos, and then I think you saved and quit, right? Instead of going back out and checking the front on the way to village.
Yeah, it was a panic moment.
And so like I went back and I got the flute, but I forgot to check the big chest where the other item was, so he had to go back and do that. Like, we were just losing time hand over fist from the get-go. He forgot, or he never went and got Ice Rod, and then went to Desert.
Actually,
same thing happened to Floyd.
Yeah, 16-bit nerds had the exact same problem. Both teams had one runner with Ice Rod, and on both teams, the runner without Ice Rod found Trinex. We did have a question that we were going to ask. Both teams had the first runner to go up to Death Mountain and found the mitts. And neither runner decided to check Dark Death Mountain. Was that a conscious choice? Or was that
Floyd totally just forgot. He's like, whoops, I forgot to do it. He's like, you could do it.
Yeah, we had, I don't know, there was just something about this whole run that we weren't playing well at all. And that was part of it. I got the mitts. I was like, oh, I can go to the village now. Let's go do that. Oops, wait. I forgot the 8 checks that are up there still.
Yeah. So it was like, it didn't cost us. The same thing happened week 1 with Fred and I. Like, got mitts on Light World, Eastern Death Mountain, and just like, it's like, oh, that's stuff I can do. Let's go do other stuff. And I was like, I'll clean it up. And
the allure of Skullwoods and Thievestown overpowered checking Dark Death Mountain when I got the mitts.
Vortex just did finish. Ganon on screen.
yeah.
So,
this
viewers,
was
still around. GG's again.
GG. Yeah, the beginning of our seed, I was like almost just totally following Floyd. Because I went to whatever from the bottom. There were a lot of goodies up top. He was doing mini Moldorn. What did I do? Oh, I think I did Front of Escape maybe then. And then when he was like Flippers or at Saha, I was like, all right, well, I got to get those before I do anything else. I handed in the mushroom and got the money for Zora. Then he went to Eastern, and then while he was doing that, I did the Flipper check. So I was like, oh, boots. Floyd died in there, and I was like, don't worry about the boss, just get the boots. And then, yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah. Definitely not how any of us wanted this to go. Other than, Flipheal's run by itself is probably exactly how he wanted it to go, but yeah.
Oh, I'll just say this much. I mean, we're definitely going to be looking forward to you guys getting back in there and going for I guess game 1A.
Yeah.
And then being able to see exactly what we've got going on there, because I mean it was an interesting race for sure. It's just a shame that it had to go the way it did there.
Yeah, it was funny because I had told, because Shkoople, like when we were doing spoiler and when we were doing co-op, like I have the race time room up because I don't really care, but like he was talking about hypotheticals and stuff, and I just like straight up told him like Flipheal's done. It's like, and then Shkoople said that like, oh, then we can just like forfeit as soon as Floyd's done. Like, let's not make the restream wait, whatever. And then like 30 seconds later, maybe Floyd forfeit, and we were like, oh, well, and then just.
And then immediately after that, my save file just deleted itself, which is fun. And I was also hard locked. Like, I don't know what happened up there by pod. I hit that dead rock, and then my game froze, and I restart, and nothing was working. It was just hard locking wherever I went.
That's insane.
I can say that both myself and Dazed, we were keeping an eye on Racetime GG, and we were watching you guys talk, and you guys were talking 10 minutes ahead, right? So we saw the did not finish. We saw shkoople talking about the deleted file. And we're both just sitting here commentating the game, waiting for the game to catch up to what you're talking about.
Oh man.
If you go back and watch this, there's a lot of us just kind of going, yeah. And
I wasn't going to,
now
but
he's
I might
doing
now.
this.
Yeah, right. For the last like 20 minutes, there were some pauses, I think, where we were trying to figure out what was going on. And
What is going on? Like, because I wasn't sure. Because it was at least 10 minutes past, like, when I was done. I was like, they got to be so confused over there.
Yeah, I read that comment. So I knew that made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, that was about the moment that I just was like, you know what, I don't have access to the race time room, so I'm just gonna shout really loudly, "Hey guys, get in here for an interview."
Yeah.
But I guess other than that, anything, any final thoughts on this before we shut this thing down for the night?
I hope scheduling a rematch is possible.
We'll make something work, yeah.
Yeah, but I just meant like the scheduling portion of it. Like I have like no one wants to win like this, regardless of how it had. Like if we had finished, like it would have felt just as bad. And so like, yeah. So, but I hope we can get it done. GG ? Big question mark. But thanks everyone for the restream. I'm sorry. It was what it was, but yeah, I don't have anything else.
Looking forward to game 1A.
Agreed. I think that's all we can say.
Well, I think we definitely wish both teams luck in the next race. Hopefully, turns out a little bit better. To any of our viewers who are still around, there are a lot of games that are going to be going on over the next few days. As you can see, there are games that are actually ongoing right now. There's one on Speed Gaming from the Invitational League. But tomorrow has a few games. Wednesday has a few games. Thursday does too. I think there might be some more games added to this list over time because I think there are more teams still to go. But as we get into the weekend, there will be a lot more games. So make sure you follow the ALTTPR League channel, the ALTTPR League 2 through 4, as well as the Speed Gaming and the Speed Gaming 2 through 6 channels. I want to thank again the restreamer, Will WC, and thank you to the trackers who have been here to help us out through the entire thing. And once again, thank you to the runners. Make sure any of you are around. Otherwise, Daze, do you have anything?
No, I was just going to echo everything you say. Thanks to the trackers, thanks to the restreamers, and we'll catch you guys next time for race number 1A.